Somebody sleeping in my...
I be kicking out on a what? Shorty a thotty, he gon' give a fuck.
I was wondering when y'all were gonna find out about gleeking. To answer your question, yes, this is completely normal and you can all learn how to do this. I'm not sure why, it's kind of weird, but whatever. First, you need to stick your tongue to the roof of your mouth and go as far as you can back. Once your tongue is back in the position, you want to almost like bite down and bring your lower jaw forward, squeezing that tongue down. Oh, I know y'all just saw that shoot at the screen. You can take the tip of your tongue and rub the salivary glands like this to kind of get the saliva built up and make it easier to gleek. There you go.
Flip it like you usually do.
I got it.
Ow!
Well, that's one way to pull your baby teeth. I would say more the mom pulled the baby teeth. And it looks like the people in the comments have some stuff to say here. Someone said, I'm 19 and I don't think I could do it either. I mean, to be fair, I probably would have been scared as a kid too. And someone else said she was so shocked when it didn't hurt, but mad because she really wanted to do it herself. That's funny because we deal with this all the time pulling. I mean, I actually literally just saw a kid earlier today where she was breathing and the tooth was just barely moving and she was still scared to pull that tooth. So I'm here to set the record straight. Does it hurt to pull your baby teeth? Well, if it's wiggly, no, it really shouldn't hurt to pull your baby teeth. You see, because what happens is as those baby teeth dissolve and the tooth root dissolves, that nerve is no longer there. There's no more pain that can be had inside the nerve of the tooth, which is what you're scared of. But that being said, the tooth does kind of stick to your gum tissue a little bit. So sometimes it does hang on a little bit and you gotta kind of pull it off. And it may feel at worst like a very light pinching of your skin, but no pain. The biggest thing is it just scares you because you've been seeing these guys on TV with big metal pliers and they're pulling your teeth and the person's screaming in pain. And that's normally because, well, it's an adult with an adult tooth that has been broken down from infection and severe pain already. And that's not a comfortable situation. You gotta numb that up like crazy. You gotta go do special things for that. But as a baby tooth with no nerve, that's just an empty shell that's just hanging there, you can pull that thing till the cows come home and that thing's not gonna hurt. Now, one thing to note, when you do pull your baby tooth, the kid's probably gonna be in a little shock realizing like, what the heck just happened? Oh, by the way, that didn't even hurt. That's not even that big of a deal, but it will start bleeding a little bit. And that's because it's stuck to the gum tissue a little bit. So all you have to do is roll up a little bit of a paper towel or something, have them bite on it, and it'll stop within 5 minutes and be perfectly fine after that. But I do like how at the end, she didn't know whether she was gonna scream or say thank you afterwards.
I hit it fast, yeah, I hit it slow, but by the morning, girl, I gotta go, gotta get ready, tonight is my
Is it true that braces can make your face change? Yes, but we need to dive deeper. First off, people with big underbites or overbites do wear elastics with their rubber bands to change their jaw, but normally it's for the better, not worse. So what's going on here? Well, I dug into the comments and I found exactly what was going on. This girl said her face didn't feel as full anymore, and she said that she got 4 teeth removed. Now, back in the day, we used to remove teeth all the time, even if you had just a tiny bit of crowding. The problem is we would only use a tiny bit of that tooth space to fix your crowding, and the rest, we would have to pull all your teeth back, making your face look worse. Now, we still have to do this sometimes in severe cases, but now what we do is actually IPR, our polish between the teeth, only doing enough space to get rid of your crowding. Unfortunately, there's still some older orthodontists that do pull teeth on everything. That being said, personally, I think her face looks fine.
I just stuck around, but he wasn't present. Cheated on your mom, but she never left. First I didn't get it, now I understand.
Oh, the old ice cube technique. A very good way to get rid of pain in your braces, but actually, these are my top tips if you're just getting braces and you have a little pain, do these. First tip, take some Tylenol before you go into your braces appointment, probably 30, 40 minutes before you go get your braces on. Go ahead and get it in your system, go ahead and take it, and then take it later that night before dinner after you get your braces on. What that's gonna do is help with some of that early pain relief, because what you do is you have muscle soreness pretty much, just like you muscle soreness from workout. Tylenol can help with that. Well, the same thing, it's like you have 32 little muscles and they're all sore at the same time. Next up, go stock up on some ice cream, maybe some ice water, whatever you need, because these wires that are going in your mouth early are heat activated nickel titanium wires, and the heat of your mouth activates them and starts to straighten out all your teeth and cause a soreness. So early on, what you can do is you can eat some cold foods like ice cream. If you're really feeling bad, you could put one little ice cube on there. I don't think that's gonna help as much as just putting some ice water in your mouth and swishing it all around. And lastly, get some wax. Get some type of wax. There's Orthodox, there's Gishy Goo, there's regular wax, anything that you can get off Amazon, whatever. And then make sure you have that, because early on, all this stuff is gonna get pretty rough on your cheeks and lips as you're getting used to it. And so a lot of that wax will help smooth things out and get you through that initial week. Now, the most pain you're gonna have is through that first week. The second week is gonna be half that. And then after that, your braces experience is actually gonna be pretty chill. Not a lot of pain. You're gonna go up in wires and things later, and you may be sore sore for 1 day, maybe 2 days max, but you're never gonna have that first week or two of pain ever again. So get through that first 2 weeks and you're gonna be just fine, I promise.
Was that torture to buy ice in her mouth? And I know what you're all thinking, you nasty. Stop it. But seriously, what is this thing in her mouth, Bentist? Well, this is actually what we call a habit reminder. You see, she has an open bite due to her tongue thrusting through the middle of her teeth. Every time she swallows, she goes, and that pushing of the tongue causes her bite to open. So we put in that saw-esque spike trap in the roof of her mouth so she can't stick her tongue there because it would hurt if she did. No more tongue force out means those teeth can finally come back in, close the bite, and look normal again.
Well, that's one way to get the London look. But for real though, what the heck is going on and why was there many teeth and there's not many teeth? Now there's a gap. I'm so confused, Bentist. Well, we've actually been following along with this girl for a while now, and her space was way bigger than it was before. And so what actually happened here was she got what we call an adult expansion. You see, when you're younger, the upper roof of your mouth is actually not fused together. And so you can put an expander and turn it and you can widen out your mouth. But when you get too old, those bones fuse and you gotta go a little bit further. And so from there, what we have to do is we have to go in and sometimes break the suture in the middle and then open it really, really wide, creating this giant gap here in the middle of your teeth. So big, in fact, sometimes it can be the size of a whole third center tooth. And I want to say, if I remember right, she actually got that surgery, opened it up, and it was really big. And for a while there, she had a giant tooth, and they just kept whittling it down smaller and smaller and smaller as they closed the space because the space was large. And so now it's finally gotten to a point where it is so small that they can remove the fake tooth in the middle and they can finish closing up the gap, making it finally done for her. If you look really closely, you can see there's a power chain across the teeth, and what a power chain is used for in braces is to pull and cinch all the teeth in. So basically, she's almost done with her, I want to say this is like a 2-year-long thing that we've been watching. So congrats to you, Layla, on almost finishing up your treatment. I'm sure it's going to look amazing, and you handled it really well for having 3 front teeth for a while.
Post-wisdom teeth removal.
Holy moly!
Pineapple juice definitely didn't work on that. But for real though, Bentist, what is going on here? And why does her face look like a Picasso painting of a chipmunk? Well, obviously she got her wisdom teeth out, and most of the time we don't have that much swelling, but some people have teeth that are so impacted and they react really, really bad. In her case, you can see that she really had a reaction to this. She swelled up a ton and also had what we call a hematoma, where we had a lot of blood pooling in the area. You see, most of the time after getting your wisdom teeth out, you recover in about 3 to 4 days for most people. But in this case, it can take up to 2 weeks for some people that have really bad reactions. You also want to make sure that you're not having any complications like dry socket, where the clot gets removed in the back, where those extraction sites are. A couple things that can cause this is 1, the hematoma she had, 2, if she had an infection. So you want to make sure that you have your doctor take a look and make sure you're not infected. But even though her face looks crazy and she had to go through all this, I still highly recommend getting your wisdom teeth out. People don't realize, but impacted wisdom teeth are like ticking time bombs. It's not if they're going to cause a problem, it's when. You see, what happens is food and gunk will travel up underneath and eventually get to that impacted wisdom teeth and can cause an infection, a cavity, and everything will happen until one day you wake up with massive pain. In fact, your face looks a lot like she did here after getting her wisdom teeth taken out, except for it's a massive infection. The craziest part is that infection can actually spread to the cavernous sinus and lead to your brain, actually killing you. To be honest with you, I didn't believe it either until I was in hospital rotations and saw this time and time again where people had massive infections from their wisdom teeth and were in a ton of pain. So even if you have to go through 2 weeks of miserableness to get your wisdom teeth out, it's totally worth it. Hope that helps. All right, you guys tagged me in this 1 hour after my wisdom tooth removal. Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, same day but at night. Dang, that already got massive. So what you're seeing here is basically if a tooth is really impacted and there's a lot of craziness going on there, the nerves, blood vessels, everything gets bruised and damaged and really swells up. And for some people, it takes a while to get back. Normally you see some yellow bruising after some while. Show. Or day 6, still huge. That's crazy. Okay, yeah, you can see that yellow bruising there now. 7 days. Holy moly. Now, this is not normal. Most people's 24 to 48 hours, they're good. But for some people, unfortunately, if they have severe trauma, it takes a little longer. But like I said earlier, most people, day 2, you're going to be fine. 9 days, though. Wow. That's a lot. But don't worry for most of you guys, because 9 days is about 7 to 8 days more than it should have took. Most of you guys are going to be just fine. Hope that helps.
I got deported by 6. I got sued by 6.
Is it just me, or is that Kim Sejong? Anyways, I had a lot of you guys in the comments saying, Bentist, what's going on here? A lot of them said, why do you need braces? Your teeth are perfect. And that's right, her teeth do look pretty perfect. But there's definitely a couple things that could be going on here. One, she could have had braces and had what we call braces relapse. You see, your teeth have all these little bungee cords that attach to the teeth. And if your teeth are crooked and you turn them straight using braces or Invisalign, those bungee cords will stretch. And if you don't wear your retainer, those bungee cords will stretch your teeth back. That's why we tell you to wear your retainer or to retain your teeth. And so if you have a little bit of that mild crowding, sometimes you can go into braces, even though it doesn't look too crazy, to get those little imperfections perfect again. Now, if you go for too long without wearing your retainer, you've got to go back in braces to fix those little issues, because getting a new retainer will only just retain where your new crooked stuff is. And so some people like this will go back into braces. It's pretty common. Another reason why I think this could be the case is she only got her braces on the top. She didn't get them on the bottom. So sometimes that happens if you only have a little bit of movement on the top and you want to get them done a second time. You're like, I don't want to go through the full thing again. Just put them on the top and fix a couple little teeth that bother. Now, the other option is she could be doing this completely fake for internet. Could be a TV thing, could be a music thing, could be whatever. She's just putting them on for looks. That could definitely be something that you could do. Or I just realized the caption said, do you miss my braces? So maybe she actually recorded the last part first, and then the first part is actually after she got your braces off. So maybe she's just tricking us with a little movie magic, which is probably the case, because if you get your braces on, you do not immediately get power chain on your teeth. That's something that happens later in treatment. So it would make no sense having your braces on and then immediately getting power chain. So my guess is probably that. Either way, they look dope. Where do I get rainbow power chain from? That stuff is cool. What in the ruin in your braces is going on here? And it looks like the people in the comments agree. We've got, are you supposed to do that? And somebody said, that's not the brightest thing to do. And I will agree, it's probably not smart to do, because it's basically ruining your braces treatment. So what she's got going on there are actually very similar to what we call power chains. They're just a metal tie version of power chains that hold all those teeth together. Not only that, but she has the wire completely out. She's going and cutting and all sorts of crazy things. Who knows where those pliers have been? I don't think that meets the health codes at all. But seriously, I get it, guys. I get that braces are annoying, or it's poking you, or whatever else, and so you're just like, I'm gonna take this into my own hands and I'm just gonna rip them all off myself. Probably not the smartest idea though, because all it's gonna do is set you back in treatment and cause you to be in braces even longer. And lastly, I know that there's a lot of tips and tricks out there about cutting the wire if something happens. I think this is an important thing to talk about, because there are certain times that you don't want to cut the wire. So early on, your wires are very thin and flexible, and they're easy if they're poking you. And the reason why we taught you guys how to do this is because what happens is, as your teeth are crowded and then they straighten out, that wire shoots out the back and starts poking you in the back of your mouth. And so we were just like, oh yeah, there's super thin wires, it's not a big deal. Take some fingernail clippers or a little clipper like that and just clip the back wire, and you're gonna feel a lot better. Problem is in braces, you go from a very small wire to a bigger wire to a bigger wire to a big, thick stainless steel type wire, big enough to where you're not gonna be able to cut it with anything you got at home unless you got some big old chomping pliers, okay? We got special pliers to cut that wire. So when you go in there trying to cut it this time, most of the time you end up just bending the wire, which causes unwanted forces. You end up breaking the brackets off. You end up messing up a whole bunch of stuff. So maybe just avoid that, okay?
When it's done, like Tiso, over to my.
I've got a story about this that just still gives me PTSD to this day when I see stuff like this. So when we take your braces off, they come off just like that in a big old round. And you know, most people don't want it, but this chick, she wanted them. She wanted them back. She was like, can I keep these? And I was like, yeah, sure. I don't care. It's weird, but okay. A year later, I get an emergency call from a dentist saying that one of my patients had swallowed a bracket. He was also kind of visibly upset with like, I can't believe what operation you're running here. What are you doing to these kids? So I find out that this girl's actually been wearing her braces like this for a year because she didn't want her friends to know that she had gotten them off. Finally, one falls off. She swallows it, panics because she thinks it went down her lungs, and goes to her dentist to have it checked out. I guess she was just embarrassed, so she said, no, the orthodontist put them on that way. That's the way I'm supposed to wear them, all that type of stuff like that. And the dentist is like, what the heck is going on? I have so many questions. How did she even keep them on during the day? What did she do when she ate? And she didn't even wear her retainer? In fact, I wasn't a terrible orthodontist. She was just really weird.